Sales feed. It's the morning, and you're standing in front of a mirror dressing for work. You button up your shirt, you straighten your tie, or you fasten your earrings. Then, with a sly grin, you pull on your comfy pants, your sweats, your yoga pants, or for some really brave souls, maybe you just put on your boxers. Then, you wander down the hall, enter your office, and settle down at your computer because it's time for another video conference marathon. Now, while it might feel like these video meetings are taking over your entire life, we're all wondering, are video meetings really that much better than phone calls or emails? Do video messages deliver better results than just a kind email? Are video sales pages that much more effective? Well, a musician might have answered all those questions 50 years ago when he decided to write a little song. I'm Andrew Davis, and this is how it all began. Bill's entire career was hanging in the balance. He was sitting at home in front of his television in the year 1971. His heart was pounding out of his chest while he stared intently at the screen, waiting. It was 6:01 p.m. His song should debut any minute, but his wasn't just a song, it was a fully produced music video. And even though MTV was years in the future, Bill was anxiously waiting for his music video to play for the first time on national TV. So he sat and waited and prayed. The wild journey that brought a musician named Bill to that couch on that fateful day actually started months earlier on a flight across the Atlantic. You see, Bill was on his way to London to collaborate with some local artists on his latest song, and he was hoping to finally find the inspiration he needed to put out his next great hit. But heavy fog forced his plane to land in Ireland for a 24-hour layover. Now at first, all of the passengers, including Bill, were furious. The hours dragged on, and then something unexpected happened. The attitudes of the stranded travelers began to change. People began to bond over the experience. They laughed and sat happily in the airport restaurant telling stories over their drinks. Everyone was happy. Everyone was connected. Everyone was in harmony. Looking around the airport, Bill was suddenly struck by inspiration. He grabbed a napkin and began furiously scribbling down lyrics for a brand new song. The next day, Bill finally made it to London, and before long, he and his band had a fully recorded version ready for release. So, on February 12th, 1971, Bill released his finished track to radio stations all across the United States. But the song flopped in spectacular fashion. Radio stations hated the airport song and refused to play it. But Bill believed so strongly in the song that he went back to his record label. They needed to do something more. They needed to show the world the power of the song, this time with a visual element. This song had emotion, it had love, it brought people together. If only people could see all of the same things that Bill saw that day stranded in the airport. So, Bill did something crazy, especially by the standards of the day. He asked his record label to invest even more money in order to shoot a music video. So with a new budget, a new art director, and a new vision, they decided to turn the song into the first united chorus of the world. The video would include a group of 500 young people, people from all nations, standing on a hillside singing Bill's song. Now, filming the video was a long and frustrating process, delayed multiple times by rain. By the end, the cost for the entire production was an astounding $250,000, or about $1.7 million in today's money. It was quite literally the most expensive video of its type ever shot. But Bill was absolutely certain it would work. This video version of the song was going to have an impact. It had to. And that brings us back to the day when Bill was sitting on his couch waiting for the video of his song to make its debut. Does the video make a difference? Was the song still a flop? And who is Bill really? Find out after this message from Sales Feed. I'm Andrew Davis, and like you, I know that sales is a tough gig. It's competitive, it's mentally exhausting, and what works today might not work tomorrow. That's why we're here to help. Who's we? Well, we are Sales Feed, brought to you by Vidyard. And we believe in sharing ideas and stories and news and entertainment to help you be more successful, to help you sell more tomorrow. You can find us on LinkedIn and YouTube and Instagram and iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, or head over to salesfeedmedia.com and trade your email address to get the best of SalesFeed in your inbox every single week. SalesFeed, brought to you by Vidyard, because we could all use some fuel for a better life in sales.
Up-to-the-minute coverage of local, national, and world news. Good evening, I'm Ron Hunter.
It was July of 1971 when Bill's music video first debuted. And unlike the radio version, this version had an incredible effect. It struck a chord in the hearts and minds of its audience. Viewers began calling their radio stations begging for the song to be played. The record label received more than 100,000 letters singing praises for the video. The song became a top 10 hit, sold record amounts of sheet music, and to this day is a staple for glee clubs, church choirs, and high school bands. But there's just one thing I forgot to mention. You see, Bill's not just any musician. He's actually Bill Backer, an advertiser who worked for a well-known drink brand, Coca-Cola. And his music video was actually a commercial entitled, "I'd Like to Buy the World a Coke." And yes, the rest of Bill's story is true. Bill was inspired to write the lyrics of this famous commercial while sitting in an Irish airport watching travelers sip on cold bottles of Coke. And yes, Bill's radio commercial flopped, while his video commercial was a tremendous success. And yes, the song really did make it onto the top 10 charts, received thousands of play requests, and went down in history as one of the best advertising songs ever written. So, the next time you're tempted to write an email, pick up the phone, or leave the camera turned off while talking with a prospect, take a moment and think about Bill's story. Video truly does have the power to connect us like no other medium. It conveys emotions like hope and joy and doubt, and it builds trust in a way that will help any salesperson do their job more effectively. Bill Backer was the creator of a Coca-Cola commercial which became one of the most famous ads in history. And for him, video is where it all began. That's How It All Began is written by Rachel Kraft and Andrew Davis. Our editor is Sean Cleary. Our head of research is Emily Allen. Our illustrators are Sienna Roman and Skylar Fusco. Our production manager is Elizabeth Davis, and our executive producer is Tyler Lessard. That's How It All Began is a production of Monumental Shift and is distributed by SalesFeed and Vidyard. Find us on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe now so you don't miss the next episode of That's How It All Began.